At the beginning of the 20th century, precisely in the year 1900, a disturbing and sinister event unfolded on a global scale. Bells that had rung for centuries in temples, towers, and communities across the earth were systematically collected and destroyed. This action was justified by the governments of the time as a necessary measure due to the shortage of metals during the First and Second World Wars. However, this explanation hides a much more disturbing, dark, and profound truth, one that involves not only material concerns, but also spiritual ones aimed at maintaining mass social control. Bells have always played a role that transcended the simple marking of time. In various cultures and spiritual traditions, bells were seen as powerful tools capable of influencing the environment and people in significant ways. The sound of a bell was not merely a chime to mark the hours. It was considered a means of warding off negative energies, purifying environments, and elevating the specific vibrations of those who listened. Moreover, the ringing of bells was associated with creating a connection between the physical world and higher realms of consciousness, facilitating a deeper communion with the divine and promoting a state of spiritual awakening. Aware of the intrinsic power of bells, some authorities, possibly influenced by secret societies, may have orchestrated their destruction as part of a deliberate effort to suppress spiritual growth and maintain tighter control over the collective, human consciousness. By eliminating these instruments, society was deprived of a vital tool for spiritual elevation, and energetic protection was pushed into a lower and more vulnerable vibrational state. This low vibrational state, in practice, would make people more susceptible to negative influences and less connected to the higher aspects of their own existence and to the spiritual resonance of the universe. And in fact, we can clearly see that this is exactly what happened. But the story doesn't end there. In 1953, a seemingly technical but deeply significant change was introduced in Western music. The standard tuning was altered from 432 Hz to 440 Hz. Although this change might seem insignificant at first glance, many researchers and resonance scholars claim that the now standard 440 Hz frequency is disharmonic and has a disruptive effect on the human energetic field. In contrast, the 432 Hz frequency, once commonly used, is aligned with the Earth's natural resonance and is considered by many to promote healing, balance, and spiritual elevation. The 432 Hz frequency, which vibrates in harmony with nature, was seen as a bridge connecting human consciousness to the Earth's resonance, helping to maintain a healthy spiritual alignment and a state of well-being. With the shift to 440 Hz, modern music began to resonate at a frequency that is demonstrably less harmonious and even harmful to the human energetic field. This change, along with the absence of bells, created an environment in which society was gradually conditioned into a lower vibrational state, weakening our connection to the divine and making the spiritual awakening of humanity much more difficult. This series of events, which may seem disconnected at first glance, is in fact part of a broader and deliberate strategy, to control and suppress the spiritual potential of every human being. By deactivating sources of spiritual power and promoting disharmonic frequencies, the collective consciousness was kept in a state of passivity and total disconnection, preventing the blossoming of spiritual awakening and a deep, powerful connection with the universe. This suggests that behind the actions ostensibly justified by material necessity, there was a calculated effort to alter the spiritual vibration of humanity and keep it in a state that favors control and submission, while also turning us into a feast for low-vibration entities that feed on and require human beings constantly vibrating at a lower frequency. I believe you've probably asked yourself countless times why there is so much chaos and imbalance in the world, and there lies your answer. Do your own research on frequency and vibration, for these are the keys to everything that exists in this holographic universe of ours. As we reflect on these events, we realize that the destruction of the bells and the change in musical tuning may have been more than just a simple response to the material and technical demands of the time. These events are undoubtedly part of a broader strategy aimed at controlling the collective consciousness and suppressing the spiritual awakening of humanity. By eliminating instruments capable of raising our vibrations and by readjusting sound frequencies to a less harmonious resonance, society was subtly pushed into a dreadful abyss of ignorance, living their lives in a true prison without walls. Doomed to a true mental prison, some people go through life desperately seeking guidance at any cost, while others continue living with a completely frozen mind, as if nothing out of the ordinary were happening. Thus, as we face the impact of these past decisions, we are called to reflect on how we can, in the present, restore and protect our spiritual and energetic harmony. Understanding these events may be the first step toward a new opportunity to awaken and reconnect, where tools for vibrational and spiritual elevation are recovered and used for the evolution of human consciousness. We urgently need to realign ourselves energetically, as only then will we be able to mitigate much of the damage that was done in the past. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.